Orford. I'm the Director of Success Mindset and Achieving Amazing Goals at Personal Trainers Business Bootcamp. On my first video, I shared with you why 92% of your clients may not actually achieve their fitness goals. In this one, I'm going to share with you how to make sure that all of your clients, not just some, but all of them fall into that 8% that really do achieve their goals. The first tip, which we actually touched on in the previous video, is you have to learn to ask really leading questions. I call them like discovery questions. It's finding out all about, have they tried doing this? Have they wanted to achieve this fitness goal in the past? And if so, what happened? Because if you can identify what happened in the past, then you can come up with a strategy with them to make sure that that doesn't happen. Or if their default pattern kicks in, what are we going to do to get you back on track again? So it's incredibly important. Ask lots of questions to find out, have they ever achieved it in the past? If they were super fit, if they were a young mom who was super fit, had some babies, and knows what it feels like and looks like to actually feel strong and fit, then draw on that and ask some questions. So, how often were you working out? What were you eating? What were you doing, etc. And then you're going to find out a whole lot about them. So ask lots of questions and find out if they actually tried doing this in the past, why it didn't work, or maybe on the contrary, maybe they did do it in the past and they have something to actually fall back on and go, oh yeah, I have that self-belief in place and that's why I need your help, because I know I can do this with your help. The second tip is to work out what their highest values currently are, because you need to know what they currently are in order to perhaps change them around a little and encourage them. I call it a values hierarchy. In our Personal Trainers Business Bootcamp, we actually talk you through this step by step by step, how to do this. It's virtually like doing a beliefs and core values audit around where they are right now and what they're going to need to change in order to actually achieve that goal. So really make sure that you can probably just ask them, so what do you think your highest values are, and are they aligned with your goal? Because unless they're aligned with your goal, you're just not going to achieve it. Here's the thing, and this is absolute gold that I'm sharing with you. It's not the goal that they want. It's what the goal is going to give them. So we call it, in the coaching language, we call it the secondary gain. And the secondary gain is what's going to juice them up and get them motivated. If they've said they're going to get up and they're going to run every day and all of a sudden it paused for a week, the secondary gain is what you need to be reminding them of. Because if it's to lose weight, what is losing weight going to give them? Is it going to give them a sense of a stronger self-esteem? Is it going to give them the opportunity to, enter a competition? Is it going to give them the opportunity to wear all those clothes that they haven't been able to wear for several years that they really love? What is it that getting the goal is going to give them? Because the secondary gain is what juices us up. That's what's actually going to push us through those times when, let's face it, getting their goal is not going to be a straight line. There are going to be times when they have to review and correct. So find out what that secondary goal is, and they may not even know what it is off the top of their head. That's why you need to ask lots of questions. The fourth tip I actually mentioned in the first video, and that is often people get overwhelmed with this huge big goal that they've set, and then they give up because it's like, it's too overwhelming. How am I ever going to achieve that? Or they start off and they think they're eating really well and they're exercising really well and they're working out with you, but they're not losing any weight. Well, as you and I know, they might be actually gaining muscle, and that's why they're not losing weight. But ultimately, you need to chunk down whatever that really big goal is for them so that they can set little, small, achievable goals. Maybe it's about losing inches on their waist first before they actually start losing weight, or whatever it is. Because as I mentioned in the other video, when we actually set tiny, achievable goals, that's going to create a foundation of self-belief, and that self-belief is going to spur them forward to actually achieve the goal and be in that 8% that do that. Now, my final tip, I did mention slightly in the first video, and that is find out what has sabotaged their efforts in the past. Because if you can find out what sabotaged their efforts in the past, if there was a past that they've actually tried doing this and they've failed, then you can come up with a strategy. And again, It's about asking questions and really listening and getting them to come up with the strategy, because they're the one that knows what's going to work for them. You don't, I don't, but they do. So, okay, so in the past, you decided you wanted to lose weight, but you found you were traveling a lot and you had to stay in hotels and eat out a lot. Okay, and you weren't necessarily making the best choices on the menu. Let's talk about what other choices you could be making when you're in that situation again. So whatever it is that stopped them in the past, we've got to come up with a strategy that when that situation rises, and it's going to happen, especially if they get stressed, what's the strategy to actually kick through that obstacle and not allow them to go off track? So I hope you found this really, really useful. Comment on the links below, come over to Personal Trainers Business Bootcamp for lots more free resources, and I would love the opportunity to work with you face-to-face. We are going to be having 6-day intensive Personal Trainers Business Bootcamps right here in Hawaii. So who wouldn't want to hop on a plane and come to Hawaii and really drill down on all this stuff? So either way, we have a 6-week online program, by the way, as well as a 6-day intensive, which obviously we go a lot deeper. But just as a starter, I really hope that the things that I've been sharing with you help you in supporting you in creating this wildly successful personal training business.